stop is On the Radar Radio.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, baby. On the radar. It's pronounced Genique, right? I'm not like, okay, cool. I'll start overthinking it. Yes, sir, baby. On the Radar Radio. Yo, special guest in the building. Genique in the building. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
You from Queens?
I'm from Queens.
Queens, where in Queens?
I'm from St. Albans, but I'm all over Jamaica and shit, so I just be saying Jamaica.
Me too. I was all over like Hillside and Parsons growing up. I was born at LIJ. College, I lived right off the Grand Central. Lived in Fresh Meadows. Like I lived like a little bit everywhere in Queens too.
I was in Brooklyn before Queens, though.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
So my Brooklyn friends be mad that I'm repping Queens now. Like,
Why?
where'd this come from? I don't know. They just, if you're from Brooklyn, they want that loyalty.
Yeah.
And I guess when I moved and started repping Queens, I tried to slip in that I'm also from Brooklyn. They're like, no, you can't do that. You can't claim two boroughs, da-da-da-da.
They was not jacking that at all.
Yeah, they wasn't. So I'm like, all right.
So how long were you in Brooklyn for before you moved to Queens?
Since I came from Jamaica in 2004.
Okay. Well, how old were you when you came from Jamaica?
Like, damn, I'm revealing my age. I shouldn't have said. Take the 2004 part out. Run that back. It's clipped. But
cut the cameras dead ass. Nah, you gotta leave that shit in there. It's funny. Anyway, go ahead.
I was like 10. I was like 9 or 10.
Oh, I was gonna say she was when she came here from Jamaica, she was actually just born.
No.
I got you.
I was like 9 or 10, and then I was in Brooklyn that whole time up until like high school, like the middle of high school. Yeah.
And then but then after that, it was all Queens.
All Queens.
I mean, like it's weird because it's like I pretty much did like half my life in Queens and then the other half in LA, kind of like a little boom, 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 boom. And then I also spent like a lot of my early years in Brooklyn, like in Bushwick, because my abuela, like that's just where I stayed at. So it's always hard when people ask me, because I'd be like, like I'm from LA, I did like my school in LA, but Queens is really like where I became Gabe. You feel me? Like
right.
Queens
That's how I feel.
Queens and being in Brooklyn is really where I became myself and became what this is. You feel me? So yeah, it's tough because people always want you to be like, oh,
they want you to pick. You can't not pick. You look unloyal.
Yeah.
So I agree though. Queens made me who I am. I feel. Because a lot was happening in that transition too.
Type shit. Yeah.
I like lost my grandfather and just like the whole move really like fucked me up. So I feel like moving to Queens was like a brand new start, a brand new me. It was like that hustle and grind that I felt. So yeah, I got a rep.
Yeah, I sometimes be wishing I was from just one place. You know what I'm saying?
Me too sometimes.
Just so like it's like there's no like, oh well, but you say you from here, but you say you from here, but you say you from here. I'm like only people who move around or who have lived in multiple places for long periods of time or have like been in multiple places will understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you just live in Brooklyn your whole life, right?
You just say Brooklyn.
You just say Brooklyn. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, being like moving from like Queens to Brooklyn or like in my case, Queens and LA, it'd be tough because they'd be like, oh, well, why you don't, because, LA people be like, oh, nobody ever want to say they from LA. I'd be like, no, I say Queens and LA. But like, it's just like that taboo thing where it's like, it's like people, they want you, if you from Brooklyn, they want you to say that you from Brooklyn and shit. Yeah, they don't want to hear none of that shit. Mm-hmm. So were you doing music when you were in Brooklyn or did that kind of begin in the Queens era of your life?
I was doing music my whole life, realistically. Okay. I was definitely like on the church choir and singing and dancing throughout. Cool. But when I got to like Queens is when I really started like buckling down, taking music seriously and like writing a lot more songs and things like that.
Okay, so like what was being played in your household early, like when you were growing up? Because obviously you came from Jamaica, so I already know you like your parents like
a lot of reggae,
a lot of
dancehall and gospel, mostly gospel and reggae because my mom is very religious. Okay, my dad's kind of like on his wild side, so I was getting the dancehall through him. Yeah, so like the Vibes Cartel and the Spice and like everybody was getting from him. But a lot of like Sizzla and Sanchez and like Jacure and like those reggae artists is who I pull from. A lot of R&B as well. Like 90s R&B, just so many names. I don't even want to start naming people because I'm going to forget somebody and be tight.
Or you're just going to keep going on for like
that
forever.
Too. But a lot of reggae, gospel, and dancehall.
So like when were you like, all right, well with that being said, like obviously you rap, So it's like, where did that transition come within your life?
Yeah, it was actually in college. I started like actually recording because I had access to a recording studio through the college. Okay, we just needed someone like with a music industry major to just kind of swipe us into the studio. So I like got those connections quickly, and then we were just in there making mad music.
Okay.
I was singing my whole life. I didn't start rapping until college.
Right.
I think heavy inspiration from like Nicki and J. Cole and Drake. So yeah, I didn't start rapping until college. I honestly feel like I just got good at rapping. Like yesterday.
Like you just got good.
Like yesterday. It's
crying.
not true, but that's how I feel, you know?
Why do you feel that though?
Because my pen is just elite now. So listening to my old shit is just like, all right, I see what you were doing.
Everybody though, you feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
Like I think about, it's funny because like I was really random. Like I had just put on like the first ever Drake tape, like Room for Improvement. Because I had that downloaded from like Dat Piff when I was a kid, and I just listened to it. And it's like, you know, I'm sure he goes back and he listens to that, and he's like what was I doing back? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like
it's the growth.
Because it's like you as an artist, like you're very critical of your work, and like obviously like what you start off with and what you're known for now is like very different. You feel me? So like that level of critique is definitely always there, and your old work is always gonna, in your eyes, be like not as good as your new work, even though people love your old work. Like I fuck with Room for Improvement because it's so raw, but like I know that I don't know, maybe he don't like it because of X, Y, and Z, but you know, you never know.
Yeah.
So where you at like right now? So like the Rap Snacks joint just came out, fire.
Yeah.
Why have a whole tape around the Rap Snacks theme?
That's a good question. So like I was doing all of these ciphers, specifically the One Train cipher.
Shout out the One Train cipher.
Yes,
that's what's up.
shout out
I fuck with that one.
Steve.
Shout out Steve, yeah.
We was doing the One Train cipher, and I had to like, you know, write my verse and everything. A couple months, just back to back, me writing and memorizing verses. So I like built up this catalog of verses that I really wanted to drop.
Yeah.
Not just like with the ciphers, but like drop on platforms.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be like each of them was like a minute 30. So kind of like a snack. And I'm rapping, so I wanted it like sure that I'm like rapping. These are snacks. It's just like a little tease, of like a mixtape type situation.
That's kind of tough. I like that.
Yeah.
So you took like all the verses that you have done for other things, and you just were like, all right, cool. That's how I'm gonna put this out.
Yeah, just kind of compiled them into a little mixtape.
It's just kind of like the whole people over shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's tough. What's well, that One Train cipher is super fire. Again, shout out to Steve, man, because that's super creative, and I love seeing shit like that in the city. You know what I'm saying? I like also bigging up other people who are doing amazing things out here too, with the cipher space. I want to ask, what's like the relationship with like you and Benny too? Because I seen you with Benny. Like, what's that kind of relationship?
Yeah. So Benny was looking for a dope female artist. He had put something on Facebook or something like that, and I reached out.
How long ago was this, by the way?
This was like a couple months.
Okay, not that long ago.
Yeah, a couple months ago. I reached out, and at the time when I reached out, I didn't even look at who I was reaching out to necessarily. But I reached out. I'm like, hey, I'm a female artist. I sent him my tracks and my Instagram, and he hit me back like immediately, like, yo, like you're crazy. Like we gotta talk. We gotta get in the studio. Da da da. So we ended up, you know, talking. He came out to New York after he was off from his tour. And like we were like talking and working on stuff and just like seeing where my mind is at. And I'm still not sure what's going on fully with Benny yet, but it's a great connection to have.
Yeah,
because
like, he's in album mode.
Yeah. He's in his like own little like bubble right now. But it was validation too, because as I said, like rapping is fairly new to me personally. That's how I feel. And he's like a goat at like rapping. Like I love his lyricism. So yeah, it was like really cool hearing him say like, yo, you're dope. I was just like, what? Like, it's crazy.
So we don't know what the situation is yet, but hopefully,
we
maybe after
yet.
the album you'll be able to.
Yeah, we don't know yet. Let me just silence this.
Did you get to hop in the studio with him at all or no?
Yeah, we did. We were in the studio.
Okay.
But whatever we worked on, you know, it's like
I had to pull out the picture too.
Yeah, pull out the picture. Me and Benny, he's a cool dude.
That's
real
tight.
genuine.
Yeah,
I got to rap for him. Yeah, it was all dope.
That's fire.
Still in the works though. And
you had a paragraph. Me and Spain for Benny wasn't honoring herself, and it felt great knowing that such a lyricist and a beast in the rap game thinks so highly of me and my music. That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah,
I like that for
really
you.
cool.
Were you like that big of a Benny fan beforehand too?
Not like huge. Like I knew of him and Griselda, and like I knew a couple of their tracks, but I wasn't like, you know, fully engaged in the entire thing.
Right.
Until after. It was after I started like really, really listening to him and like, yo, like just so inspired. I remember like writing for like 2 weeks straight. Just hadn't left my laptop, just writing because I'm like, yo, his bars are crazy. He's very outside of the box. And yeah, it was really inspiring.
Also, got to give a shout out to my brother Nels. So, Nels is at the Orchard. Are you at the Orchard now? Is that like a thing?
No, just my connections.
That's just I wasn't sure. That's why I had to ask.
Yeah.
I gotta ask because that's just my friend. Like,
yeah.
What's the relationship? Cool. How did you meet Nels?
Through another friend at the Orchard.
Okay, word.
Yeah, his name's Cody. Shout out to Cody.
Shout out Cody.
Yeah. But me and Nels met there, and he listened to my music, and he loved me, and yeah, we were like, let's just lock in. And
Nels be like, yo, bro, she's so fire, bro. Like, you gotta, come on, man. Like, I gotta get my Nels. That wasn't a Nels impersonation.
Pretty good.
I gotta get my Nels impersonation. He'd be like, hey, yo, G. You know, he goes, my dog. Yo, Genique, bro.
Love it.
He's like, she hard, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm happy that we finally got to make this happen.
Yeah, me too.
So what are we cooking up right now? Like, what's kind of in the works? What are we planning? What else is going on?
I don't want to say too much.
Okay.
But I have a track coming out, I'll say with the reggae legend. I won't say who.
Ooh, okay.
So I do a lot of dancehall as well. And, you know, I switch like the Jamaican accent to the hip hop or whatever. So I'm doing a couple tracks with Jamaican artists. So I could just like get, you know, that audience with me, and then working on a couple more singles, hopefully with more featured artists that are bigger.
How'd the legend track come about without, you know, saying who it is?
How did it come about?
Yeah.
My manager Ali has great connections with dancehall artists. He used to manage Skilly Bang.
Okay, tight.
Yeah, so a lot of his connections are with dancehall artists, and I love dancehall music.
Of course.
So I'm like, this is great. Like, this is a great way to just kind of tap in. And he reached out to a couple, and one hit me back.
So that's coming soon.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Rap Snack's out right now. New dancehall track on the way. What else do people got to be on the lookout for before we have you rap here today?
Couple more freestyles.
Okay.
And another single. I don't think I'm dropping a project right now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep doing some strong singles that I think you guys are going to love.
Fire. Well, we're looking forward to it. Freestyle out now by the time y'all see this. Rap Snacks project out now by the time y'all see this. Go check that out.
Go check it out.
Well, it's been out. Go check it out. Before we get up out of here, anything else you want to let the people know where they can follow you at, all that good stuff? Now's the time to do it. This camera on the right here.
This one. Okay, so you can follow me at Genique Music on Instagram. That's GENIQUE Music. Go follow my Spotify and get my stuff on Apple Music and Tidal and all of that. Just type in Genique.
There you go. Well, make sure you go check out everything she has out now. Go run up that freestyle. Go follow her. Go show her some love. Go show her some support. Love is free. Support is free. But y'all renew that till next time. Genique on the radar. We out. Pow. Appreciate you. Love.
Appreciate you.